Hello guys, long time no see. It's been a while. I'm so sorry. Look, I would love to give you all an hour-long video telling you all about what the fuck is wrong with me and why I haven't been uploading, but nobody wants that. So I'm just gonna like make it short and, you know, give you a hint. I'm, depressed and in university, just generally all types of fucked up. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to post more. I'm gonna try. I really want to, but I'm not gonna make any promises that I can't keep, but I will try, okay? Okay, cool, moving on. So because we haven't seen each other in a while, I thought that I would talk about reading slumps, because what usually happens with me is when I take a break from BookTube, I also take a break from reading. Hasn't happened this time. I managed to stay on top of my reading challenge. Only thing I've managed to stay on top of at all. I'm fucking up everything else in my life, but we'll take what we can get. So, I would like to share my tips, but before I do that, I would like to ask you, if you are in a reading slump and you're trying to get out of it, why are you so pressed to get out of this reading slump? Like, why are you in such a hurry? Like, why can't you just give yourself a motherfucking break? I'm sure you have shit to do in your life. I'm sure you have other hobbies. Shut up, yes you do, okay? You have other hobbies. Go tend to those other hobbies if you feel like it, and do the shit that you need to do. You don't feel like reading, it's fine. It doesn't mean you're never gonna pick up a book again. I'll use my own hobbies as an example. I love painting, I love writing, I love going out with my friends and getting a little bit drunk on a weekend or on a weekday. Anyway, and never in my life have I been curled up on my bed a Friday night and thought to myself, I can't believe I'm not socializing right now. I can't believe I'm not going out. I'm never gonna have a friend ever again. That's it. My social life is over. That's it. No, because I know full well that I am incapable of not going out every now and again, and I know it's gonna happen again, and I know I'm gonna continue having a social life maybe the next day or the next week or maybe even the next month if I'm being particularly introverted. Same for reading. I've realized that when I spend a while not reading, usually within a matter of weeks, which might seem like a long time in Goodreads reading challenges, but usually in a couple of weeks, like the motivation and the desire to read just naturally reappears. So if you are chill enough to just let the reading slump happen, you'll be fine. Now, if you're not, I have some tips, okay? Don't worry. But yeah, just think about what I've just said. Consider, why you were so upset at yourself for not reading, and consider taking a break. But if you can't do that, that's fine. I totally get it. You guys are overachievers. It's fine. So the first one is an actual non-brainer. I'm sure you've heard it before, and if you have, why the fuck haven't you done it yet? And it's reading an old favorite. Reading old favorites works like a charm, and by reading an old favorite, I don't mean reading that book that you tell everyone is your favorite to impress them, okay? I mean that actual old favorite that got you into reading in the first place. I feel like getting out of a reading slump is very much like people who try to get into reading as adults when they haven't done it since they were 11 and reading Percy Jackson. You're not gonna rediscover the love of reading through reading the complete works of Shakespeare. It's not gonna work. Maybe don't reach for those heavy books or those complicated classics. Just go for your old favorite. I'm not judging you. I reread Harry Potter all the time, and it's okay. You wanna reread Twilight, reread fucking Twilight. I don't give a fuck. You wanna reread Percy Jackson, go for it, okay? It's a comfort read. It's gonna make you feel warm and fuzzy and nostalgic inside. Just do that. Or just read like a trash book. Do you like Colleen Hoover? Go fucking read Colleen Hoover. I don't know, whatever is trashy, whatever is gonna get you invested in a stupid story that you did. Be embarrassed to be seen reading in public. Okay, just go read that. Now, that being said, this is the no-brainer. It's the first one, so I got it out of the way. It's not my favorite one, but it works, okay? Number 2 is read short stories. Again, very easy to get behind. Now, the reason this works is not necessarily because you enjoy reading the short story or it's not a little bit of a challenge, but if you're anything like me, you're going to be motivated by success. I started off this year in a huge ass reading slump. I did not feel like reading. I'd been reading a lot and I was kind of, tired of it. So what I did is I read 2 short stories back to back, logged them into Goodreads, because yes, you need to be able to log them into Goodreads. That is really important. Log them into Goodreads, and then you'll be 2 books ahead, and you'll be like, I am reading so many books. You're gonna scroll through your challenge and be like, wow, can't believe I read so much. And the effect that this has on me personally is to be like, wow, I'm such a reader. I should actually read a bit more because, I'm obviously such an intellectual. So yes, when I see that, wow, I got these 2 books out of the way, I can reach for that and the other. And sometimes if you're lucky, the short stories you read are actually gonna be good. So try that. It actually works quite well if you're someone who's motivated by success. My next tip is so incredibly stupid, but goddamn, it works so well. And I would recommend you go and have a really nice self-indulgent main character moment. Let me explain. I personally, living in Paris, I have the luxury of taking that to an absolute extreme. So I will do my makeup, do my hair, put on a really nice outfit, and I will go sit in a typical Parisian bar/cafe and act like the main character of a Wattpad fanfiction. I'm just sat there reading my book. Like, the waiter is just there. If I want another whiskey, I can ask for it and he's just gonna bring it over. I'm fairly impulsive, so I'm not even thinking about the bill at this point. I just, eat pasta for the rest of the week. But it works so well, because you're being in an environment where, you feel like you're doing something, you've gotten your shit together, you look nice, you went out. If you feel like bored and you want to take a break, you just look up and people watch. And because there's people around you, you're gonna feel pressure to actually read. And not sit on your phone the entire time. And you're not gonna have all these other distractions. So if you can do that, I absolutely recommend it. And you don't even need to be in Paris for it. You can be in any city, works really well, especially New York, London, that type of shit. But it works if you live by the countryside. Are you kidding me? Go sit by a stream under a tree if it's summer and not too cold and not raining. And just, be like, oh my God, I'm far away from the prying eyes of society, just there reading my book. Just fucking go for it, okay? My next tip is to actually annotate your books, which sounds strange, but I feel like this is something where it's either gonna work really well for you or not at all. For me, it works really well. I'm not particularly fussed about the amount of books that I read, so if I read a lot consistently, I'm happier than if I read 5 short books like this, you get my point. I find that annotating my books makes it feel less boring. I am someone who actually struggles to sit down and read and do nothing else for a long time. I have always struggled with this. It's like for studying, I need to be kind of doing something, I can't just sit there and read. So if you're annotating, not only are you gonna feel really productive and you're actually doing something, it actually helps you get a lot more engaged with the story that you're reading, or pick up on interesting facts if you're reading nonfiction. It just enhances the entire reading experience. So I feel like this one is very specific and hit or miss, but let me know if you have done this, if it works for you, if it tends to kind of not work at all. I'm actually genuinely curious. For me, it works really well. I would definitely recommend that one. If you would like a video on annotating your books, let me know. I don't really have a system for it. I just kind of wing it. But yeah, I could potentially make a video about it. I don't know. Next, might sound counterintuitive, but I would actually recommend picking up some nonfiction. This works well for me, especially because I tend to get easily excited about new things. My most recent obsession has been art history. This time last year it was medicine, so I read 3 memoirs from doctors and cardiothoracic surgeons. So, whatever is interesting to you at the time, go pick up a nonfiction book over it, because chances are you're going to be reading about it anyway. You're going to be reading articles, you're going to be watching documentaries, you're going to be listening to podcasts. Just pick up a book about it. It's not that fucking hard. Instead of reading a long ass article about whatever you're interested in, go pick up a fucking book. You like true crime? Go read a book about true crime. Are you interested in North Korea? Pick up a book about North Korea. Interested about, astrophysics? Go read a book about it. You get my point. Read about whatever you're interested in at the time. You won't feel like you're reading. I promise you it will fly by, because especially if you're like me and you love to get invested in fiction and really pick it apart and read into it and get emotionally engaged with the book that you're reading, non-fiction is surprisingly easy and light compared to fiction. Obviously it depends, on a case-by-case basis, but I get really, really invested in the fiction that I read. But when I read non-fiction, it can almost feel like it's easier. I can, if there's a passage I'm not particularly interested in, I can just skim read it and I can kind of read it on the surface, and then something will pique my interest and I'll go into it more in depth again. So I find that for me, it's something that works really well, and it might actually be beneficial for you as well. Next thing is, if you like writing, do some writing. Reading after that will seem like a fucking holiday, and it will inspire you to do even more writing. Okay, that's it. And if you don't like writing, sorry, this was just 30 seconds of your time, just lost forever, and you'll never get it again. I'm really sorry about that. And finally, my last tip is to motivate yourself with guilty pleasures, and by that I don't mean guilty pleasure books, I mean guilty pleasures related to books. So it could be binge watching booktube videos, it could be scrolling through Goodreads, or it could be buying yourself a new book. But yeah, just get excited about a new book that you want to read. You could also have like a reading buddy, though I feel like that just tends to not work in my favor unless they're not connected to booktube in any way. In that case, they're not used to reading and I read much faster than them. And again, motivation by success, just starting to get the point. I end up being like, oh, you're on chapter 4, I'm on chapter 9, so it's okay, I'll wait for you. Pick up your least enthusiastic friend and just read with them. Just feel great about yourself for reading more than them. God, I'm an awful person. No. Read someone who like reads a lot and so who can motivate you, whatever. I don't know. I'm a shitty person, whatever, you get it. Okay, that's it for today. Short one, I know. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you would like to see next. Follow me on Instagram, subscribe, and I will see you guys very soon. Goodbye.